Okay, so let's say you have created a table. Okay, and now you realize that we need to add a column, right? So we'll look at our books table itself. Okay, and you have book ID, book title, author, cost. Let's say we want to add um, publisher also to this. Okay, now one option is you delete, drop, and recreate, right? But the problem with drop and recreate, what is the problem with recreate, drop and recreate? What is the property? Sorry, what is the problem with drop and recreate?
Drop means like it will entirely delete the table and table data, right? Like
Correct. So you are losing data also. We don't want to lose data, isn't it?
uh,
Right?
table also delete, I think.
So table you can recreate again. That's not a problem, right? You
Okay.
just,
Data also.
but data is also gone, right? So that's not the right approach. So we have something called as alter. Okay, alter table.
Okay.
Alter
Instead of
table.
the whole data,
Yes,
whatever we want, we can alter.
correct. So when you say alter table, it is way of altering the table, right? So you can add a new column. Okay, you can change the data type of a new column as well, right? Let's say you give integer, later you realize that we need to give it as a varchar, so you can do alter. Okay, so alter is used to change the structure of your table. Okay, so alter is used to change the structure of your table, right? So you can delete, modify table members, or even add. Sorry, okay, we're right now adding. So I can add a column, right? So let's say alter table, okay, and then table name. Which table am I altering? So I will say dbo dot books. Okay, alter table dbo dot books. And then I'll say add. Okay, add column name. So uh, ISBN. Let's say ISBN, right? So ISBN we want to add it. So I say ISBN. So ISBN has become your column name, right? And ISBN is always 13 digits, right? So I can say CAD 13. Okay, I hope this is correct. And now when you go and when you execute it, command executed successfully. Now you refresh your books table. Okay, columns, you go and see ISBN 13 digit, right? So this is how you can add. You want to drop, let's say, a table. Okay, let's add one more table and we'll drop it. Okay, you can put go in between. Okay, so I'm saying add ISBN 10. So you have something called ISBN 10. Okay, and that's the older way of adding. Okay, earlier we had ISBN 10 digits. Now we have a 13 digit ISBN. Okay, so see, incorrect syntax near hyphen, right? So as I said, when you're creating column, only special character that is allowed is underscore. Okay, no other special character is allowed. You cannot say dot. Dot is also allowed in some cases, but like dollar, okay, hyphen, colon, those things are not allowed. You can give underscore. So now you give underscore and you execute it. Okay, now you can go and refresh the table. So you will see column ISBN 10. Now I want to delete it. Okay, drop. Okay, it's called drop. Okay, drop column ISBN 10. Sometimes you might give us like you realize that it's not relevant, okay, unnecessary, we are capturing the data and it's not useful. So that's when you can go and drop. So alter table books, okay, alter command, it has to be same. Now I'm going to say drop column your ISBN 10. Okay, execute it, gone. So now you refresh. Okay, books 10 is gone, right? Now let's say ISBN 13 is there, right? You realize that it has to be made as data type. You have to change the data type. Now you have to be very careful, okay? When changing the data type, you'll be doing it mostly when table has a lot of data, isn't it? Your data, you realize that we need to do that. So if your data type is character, in this case, MySBN 13 is character, and now I want to make it integer. It will only work if the existing data is also integer. If existing data will also, see, you are changing the column type, automatically the data type will change, right? So if you have a string, if you have an integer, okay, and then you want to change it to string, will there be any problem? No, integer can be easily converted to string. So if you have a number and you want to convert into string, it will not have any problem. You can easily convert it, okay? But if you have a string and you're converting it to a number, right? So if all the data in that column has number, only then it will allow you to change. Now let's say one column has A 125, then it will not allow you to change it to integer because A is there. We can't have A in integer column, correct? So in that case, you have to manually go and handle that, the cell first. Okay, you have to convert A 135 into a number, what it should look like a new scenario. Only then you can go and convert into integer, right? If it is possible, only then it will convert. If it is not possible, it will not convert. So anything can be converted into varchar. Okay, absolutely no problem converting into varchar. You don't have to worry about. But if you're converting into integer or anything other than varchar, that's when you have to be careful with the data that you have. Not all data can be converted into integer or in date or so. Okay. But if that column is blank, of course you can change it to anything. Like when I'm adding a column, it can be anything because data is not there, right? That column does not have any data, so you can put any column. But now when I'm trying to change, right, change the data type of a column, that's when I have to be careful, right? So again, alter table, same command. Now here I'll say modify. Drop is to drop, okay. Add is to add, and modify is to modify, okay. So here I would say add, drop, better, right? And modify. Add, drop, modify. So modify, okay. Modify what? Modify, let's say ISBN itself, I'll say. ISBN, modify ISBN to which column? Int. 13 digits, right? You can't have small int. So modify int. I don't know why it's showing red line. Let's see. Let's execute. Incorrect syntax, modify. Alter table, TBO books, MODIFY. Modify column. Okay, I think you have to add column here. Then there's this should work. Modify column. Okay, in Oracle we don't write column, but here we write alter table name, modify column ISBN to int. Okay, so maybe, okay, let me try this. Alter table, review books, alter column. Okay, sorry. In SQL Server, it's asking alter column. Okay, so drop, alter, same as modify. Okay, in some versions, modify is used. Okay, but here it is using alter only. So alter table, DBO books, alter column, ISBN integer. Okay, so now when I go and refresh column, so see ISBN is integer now. Okay. Right. So this is how you can alter an existing data set. Okay. So yes. So we were talking about um, foreign key. Can it accept null values or not, right? So let's talk about it. We'll finish off and then we'll go to delete or insert. So there are two options, okay, when we create a foreign key. One is called delete cascade. Okay, let me put it here. Okay, properties of a foreign key. Okay, so you have delete cascade and update cascade. Cascade. Okay, so see, if you create delete cascade option, okay, it deletes the referencing rows in the second table. Okay, if the parent table deletes that primary key. Okay, and when you talk about okay, the update cascade. Okay, so it will make it as null. Okay, it will not delete the value, but it will convert into null. Right? So how to change this properties when we create the foreign key, right? Let's say you go to this transaction here. And here we have foreign key, right? So let's go to keys and let's click on foreign key, right? So these are the options, correct? Okay. So here you see a specific, okay, table. Okay. Okay. Now you click on these three dots here. Okay. Then you have so here it's not there. Table designer. Okay. Yeah, here table designer. Okay. So in table designer, and then you have insert update specification, right? Expand this. So delete rule, no action. Update rule, no action. No action means what? If there is a delete, okay, so where is the delete update? Delete update is happening on the main table where the column is a primary key. So we are saying if it happens, do not have any action. Or you can say cascade. Cascade means whatever is happening there, same thing should happen here. If you are deleting there, this will get deleted here. If you are renaming it, updating, it should happen here. Okay, so there's one no action. Okay, cascade. Okay, and then you see option set to null or set default, right? So how many options we have here on cascade? Earlier it was no action. By default, it was no action. Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, I'll close. I'm not sending it to anything. Now, let me open or we'll do it here itself. Wait. Okay, so we have 4 options, right? On delete or update. First option is no action. Then we saw cascade. Then we saw set to null, right? Set to null. And then we saw
Default.
default, yes.
No action.
Yeah. So let's say in your primary, in the main table, in the first table, primary table, let's say you have books, right? Now let's say you have book, okay, books, and you have ID 1 and ID 2 and ID 3. Okay, so we'll talk about first delete. Now when you delete it, okay, let's say I don't need a book ID 1, I delete book row ID 1. Okay, so if I delete book ID 1, okay, then no action means your foreign key will still have 1. Okay, will still have 1, but there is no matching column in the main table. So see, when you created it, it would match. When you see, these are all on update and delete only. So what happens if there is update or delete? But initially when you're inserting, it will definitely look for values. It will not allow you to add a value which is not there in the main table. So if my main table, books table has only 1, 2, 3, then I cannot add column 4 in the transaction table. I cannot add column 4 because column 4 is not there in the main table. Okay, so while insert, it will make sure that all those rules are followed. But the problem comes later. Okay, you added values for 1, 2, and 3 in the update table or in the foreign key table. But now what? Right? Now you are updating it. You realize that no, book ID should not be 1, it should be 15. So that's the update case. Okay, when you update 1 to 15, it will go to whatever you put it in update cascade. Sorry, update, not cascade, update. Okay. So whatever you put on when value in main table is deleted, it performs above selected option in the secondary table. Okay, and same thing in update, here we are saying that when value is updated. So if I change the value of okay, so just give you an example. Okay, let's take a scenario. Okay, and on delete update, I have cascade. Delete, I have cascade, or let's say not cascade, let's say set to null. And on update, I have cascade. Okay, so on delete, I put set to null. So I go here, let's say member ID. Okay, no, that's the column, right? Foreign key here. Right. Okay, insert update specification. I go here and I say on delete, it is set to null, correct? Set null. And on update, I'm saying cascade. Close. Now, what will happen if I make book ID 1 to 15? What will happen? So in main table, I'm changing the value of 1, book ID 1 to 15. What impact it will have on the foreign key table?
It also becomes
It also becomes 15, right? Cascade. Cascade means copy and perform same action. Okay, cascading effect we say, right? Cascading effect means, it's a repercussion, right? So if you change 1 to 15 in the main table, in the secondary table where we are adding the foreign key, there also it will change to 15 automatically. Okay,
okay.
automatic. You don't
What
have to do anything.
is connected, it will change like
Correct.
wherever
Yes.
mentioned.
Okay. So yes, wherever it is linked, okay, because that's a foreign key, right? Foreign key, you have to link it, right? So it will look at where all it is linked and it will change it. Okay.
But in reverse, we can't do, right? We can't change in secondary table so
How
that it
can
will
you change? Because see, primary
it will-
table is the main thing. How, secondary table, you cannot change it.
only the values in main table only it will accept, like
Correct.
whatever.
See, your name will be there in the main table, right? I cannot somewhere else change, right? So because see, main table only. Now, if you talk about member ID, members details will be in member table only. Transaction just has the number. Now, if you change manually to in transaction, if you change from 1 to 3, what happened? You can do that. It will what will say, okay, instead of linking it to member 1, it will link it to member 3. See, normal update is possible. Let's say my ID is 3, okay, and by mistake you added, I took a book, by mistake you said 1. So you should go and be able to change it, right? You can change it using update. So you'll be able to change it manually, because if it's a mistake, right? Now, I took it and my ID is 3, but by mistake, being a librarian, let's say you change it to 1. So you can go and change it back to 3. That is there. That is normal stuff that you are doing with the table,
It's like
irrespective.
what already there in books table, it will update like.
I'm talking about update cascade. Okay,
It's in
update. What happens to the original value? Okay.
I'm saying like in books table 1 to 3 is there,
Hmm.
but in another table, like the librarian is updating 4. It won't update, right?
It won't
Only one.
update. That's what I'm saying.
Only
That's a
one
normal
is-
programming. Yeah. It will. That's what I told you before, right? That's a normal programming that will not happen, right? That is insert thing. Insert, okay, or update, which is on the secondary table, has no link with the primary table. So if you are trying to insert 4 in the secondary table, it'll give you error because it cannot find. So basically you are inserting, right? So we do not have property for insert here. Okay. So I'm saying, when you are creating that table, you are linking it to a member who is not there. If
Okay.
member who is not there, it'll give you error that we don't have, member 4.
Okay.
But I'm
So can I-
talking, but yeah, I'm talking from the main table first. Okay, let's get this clear. Then we'll go to other questions. On main table, if you are deleting and updating, then what will happen? That's the point here. Okay. On main table, if you are deleting and if you have set it to null, then if you delete column 1, it will, if you delete member ID 1, member ID 1 in the second table becomes null. You're setting it to null in the second, in the secondary table. If you're up, in this case, now if I'm updating any value, if I'm changing the member ID from 1 to 100, okay, all the member IDs in the secondary table will also be updated automatically. That's the cascade. So cascade means whatever change you're making on the primary table, same effect will happen in secondary table. No action says no action. Okay, if you are changing 1 to 100 in the primary table, okay, and here, okay, here you have column ID 1, 2, 3, 4. It will not change. It will remain as it is. Okay, then set to null. It will set it to null or default. So you will have a default value, and whenever there is value is not there, like, like if I change, that will be set to default one. So maybe generally you can do on delete. Generally, we do -99, something like that. Okay. On delete, we don't want to lose data. So we'll say, okay, we'll set it to -99. So what it means when you are searching for it, when you see -99, it means that member ID is deleted, right? So mostly on delete, we use cascade or default. Okay. Or you can even use null. Generally, very less we use no action. Okay, because no action will still point to the old values, which in case of the, see, these are the 4 options that database is giving you, right? It is up to you to decide which is right for your given scenario. For every scenario, things will be different. Okay, it will not be same. Okay, so that's what it says. Okay, that you decide which one is best suited. There are 4 options which are available. Okay, so these are the things you define when you create a foreign key. Okay, in the properties we saw. And if you delete, then what happens? Okay, if you delete, what happens? So we can try now. Okay, any question on alter and cascade? Cascade, we are still doing it. Okay, we'll run and we'll see. Any question on alter? You understood, right? You are changing the existing column values, right? So you can set it to, you can delete it, you can change the data type, or you can add a new column. Okay. Yes.
Swapnil, so I have understood the alter, but cascade is a little bit confusing.
Why it is confusing, you tell me?
Can you repeat it again?
Oh, I was speaking for 10 minutes. You want me to repeat 10 minutes? No, you repeat it and I'll tell you where you are going wrong. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you try, and whenever you're going wrong, I'll correct you.
So cascade is basically duplicating it and
no, don't say duplicating it. First, what is cascade? Okay, when this will come into picture, when this comes into limelight?
When we want to change or alter anything in the table.
When you want to alter is different. Okay, see, alter is used to change the structure of the table. Okay, so here we are not changing the structure, you are changing the value. So 2 things, right? Alter is used to change the structure. You want to add a new column, you want to change the data type of column, that is the structure. But I'm talking about from if you are deleting or editing, updating. Edit is update. So whether you are deleting or updating any value in the main table. If you are editing or deleting the value in the main table, and if it has a linked foreign key, linked table, then what happens?
Then cascade comes into picture. Like
no, you have 4 options. You decide which one of those 4 options. Whichever option you have selected, that will come into picture. So if you select cascade, the cascade will come into picture. If you select no action will come into picture. If you select set null will come into picture. If you set default, that default will come into picture. So you have 4 options for each update or delete. See, on the table, you can perform insert, update, delete, or select. Select is reading, so it doesn't matter, right? Insert, okay, you are inserting anyway new value, so it will not have any impact on cascade because you're adding a new value. So it does not make sense. Problem is when you have existing value, which is linked. See, if you have a value which is not linked, that also doesn't matter. So if I have a member ID 5 and member 5 has never taken a book, so there will not be any corresponding entry for 5 in the transaction table. So if there is no corresponding entry in the transaction table, whatever you do with 5 will have anyway no impact on the secondary table or the link table. The problem comes if there is a link, if you have a member here who has also issued a book, has an entry in second table. So what happens? Right now, you have your main house. Okay, you live in a house and you have given your address in bank and everywhere else. Okay, now when you change your house or you leave the city, delete is you're leaving the city and moving to some other city. Updating is you're moving to next house. Then what should happen to the linked addresses that you have? Okay, if you have not linked it, if your address is nowhere, like in your phone or bank or anywhere, you don't have to worry about. If you're buying a new house in the city, you don't have to worry about. Problem is when you are updating, when you're making some change, whether you're leaving the city or you are adding a new value, or sorry, you're moving your house. What should happen to the link? You are saying first thing is cascade. Cascade means whatever I'm doing, it should be reflected in the bank. If I'm leaving the city, it should reflect in the bank that you left the city. If I'm changing the house, it should go to bank saying that he's changed the house. So your house, new house number will be there. No action. Okay, let it be. I'm changing the house. It's like generally for passport, you may not even go and bother about changing your address. Let it be like that only, right?
Yeah.
So
So actually, like it will change in main table, but the other secondary tables it won't change, right?
that is no action.
Okay.
Okay, no action is you're changing the house, but you're not informing anybody else. So
Some
your bank
tables
will
will-
have old address only. Your passport will be pointing to old address only. Okay.
Okay.
So
Limited
again, it
account-
depends upon business to business, right? In passport, we don't go and change. In PAN card, we don't go and change. But for
Yeah.
bank, we go and change, right? So bank, it is important to have cascade. Okay. Or
Okay, depends.
set null. So you go and say that I'm changing my house. Don't add any address for now, right?
Oh.
Generally, you can't do in each of these, right? You have to have some address. So set
Yes.
null is like, don't give me any address right now. I don't know where I'll go. Don't give me any address. That's null. Default is if I'm changing, point it to maybe you have your old, one old home. By default, you're pointing to the old home. So these are the effect that can happen if your main table, okay, changes the value.
So I have a question.
Yes.
In ISBN, you said there are only characters. So how can we convert it into integers then? Like, if
Where
there
is
is
that's what I'm saying. See, you have defined as character, but you have put in all numbers only. Phone number you can
Okay.
define as character, but you're putting all numbers only. So phone numbers can be easily converted into number later,
Okay.
right? Yes.
So phone number will be in character. That means we'll be putting it in string. Then we can convert it into integer. You mean
Yes.
that?
Yes. But if your phone
Okay.
number has plus 91 plus 1, then you can't.
Mhm.
It'll give you error. So in such case, you
Okay.
have to go and remove all the plus, and then you can convert into number.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So let's do one thing. Let's have cascade. Okay. In both the cases. So this is foreign key, right? Okay. So I go and I put cascade in both the things. Okay. Update cascade and delete set null. Okay, it's fine. Let it be set null. So what we have done, we have said delete null and cascade, update cascade. Okay. So we have set to cascade set. Yeah, we've already done it, right? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a table. Add a value. So do we have any value here? Select star from DBO dot books and members. Select star from DBO dot members. Okay. So I go and run this. Okay, it's empty. Okay, this has member, right? So DBO members have, okay. Now I'm going to update into books. How do we add into books? What is the command? We did it yesterday. How do I add new entry to books?
Alter table.
No. Alter is not to add members. Alter is to change the structure.
Insert.
Insert.
Insert data.
Insert into. Okay. Insert into DBO dot books. Now,
brackets open.
correct. And you first give the columns, right? So talking about books. So where is book? Is transaction. Books is here. right? So book ID anyway, it is identity. So it will take B title author, B title, comma, author, okay, cost ISBN,
Yes.
cost. And see, cost and ISBN can have been null. So let me not add it. Okay. So I'll just add title and author. Okay. And I'll say values. Okay. Title I'm giving as Python programming, and author I'm giving as this. Okay. Now I go and run this. Okay. What happened? Okay, truncated. Okay, because I think I had given a very small size to this. Okay, now let me go and select this book. What do I see? Okay, just give me a second. Yes, so if you go and see here, okay, 10 and 10, right? So, okay, we cannot give more than that. So for now, you can change it using alter. Okay, alter, like, let's do that. Okay, so I'm saying alter, okay, or this one is the right thing to do. Okay. Alter table books, alter column, B title. Okay. No, sorry. Column, B title to varchar, or let it be nchar only. So nchar 10 will change it to nchar 30. Right? And I'll go and add same thing, alter column author to 30. Now I can select and run. Okay. Now if I run this, okay, one row affected, right? Now I can go and execute it. You saw this. Okay. So I did not add cost ISBN, so I added null. Okay. Let me add or I'll call it as SQL programming Sachin. Okay. So I ran this. Okay. Now, so we have book ID 2 and 3. Members 1 to 4. Okay. Now I'm going to add transaction. Okay, so I'm going to say insert into DBO. Okay, now let's say, member Sachin takes book ID 2, right? So I'll say insert into DBO dot transactions, right? And okay, so TID is anyway identity, we'll add member ID and book ID. Okay, and let's leave out date for now. So member ID, comma, book ID. Okay. Member ID, book ID, or thinking let's add okay, today's date also. Okay. So so we are running today this insert query, right? That means the book is being issued by now. By today, book is being issued, isn't it? So I need to add the date here. Okay. Okay. So let me add issue date. Okay. Now I'm going to say values. Okay. Member ID, Sachin wants to take. So Sachin member ID is 1. Sachin wants to take book ID 2, right? First book Python. He wants to read Python. and today's date, okay, we can directly say get date. Get date is a function which will give us today's date. Okay. Now let's run this and see. One column affected, right? So you can go and say select transaction. Okay. So I go and run this. So see, member ID 1, book ID 2, issue date. Okay. For me, it's already 30th, right? Return date, he has not returned. So you can now I know that this person is still reading it. Okay. Now let's say I add one more. Okay. So member ID, okay, is now 2. 2 is also reading book 2. Okay. Execute it. Run transactions. Okay. We have 2 entries. Okay. So now let's go back. So insert, everybody is clear how to insert? Okay. Now let's say that in fact this person, okay, is not reading book ID 2, he's reading book ID 3. So you can do update here. Update the existing value in table. So I'll say update, okay, update table, which table it is? DBO dot transactions. So update DBO dot transaction, set book ID, okay, set book ID equal to, let me put 5 purposely. 5 is not there. We have only 2 and 3, right? Let me put 5. So set book ID 5, where, okay, TID equal to 2. So see, I'm saying update table transaction. Okay, so update will always have set. Update will always have set. We have seen insert, we have seen create table, alter table. Now we are talking about updating the value, right? So I'm saying update DBO transactions, update table, set. So what value you want to update? I want to update book ID to 5. So I'll say set book ID to 5. If I don't give where both these values, if your table has 100 columns or 100 rows, sorry, all the 100 rows will have this column set to 5. All the values will be set to 5. So very careful when you're using delete, update, okay, you have to be very careful, okay, because delete and update can make a lot of mistake. So I'm updating, okay, book ID for only TID 2. So where TID is the primary key. So where TID equal to 2. Any question here? Now let's update and see what happens. See, what did you get? Can you read this error? Who wants to read it? The line in the red here. Update statement conflicted with the foreign key constraint. It's a foreign key, right? So it did not find 5 in the main table. That's why it gave error. Okay. So book ID 5 is not there. I want to update book ID 3. Now it will work. Okay. And when I go and run from transactions, oops. Okay. So see, TID 2 is now pointing to book ID 3. Right? Okay, great. Now we have changed the foreign key in book ID, right? Where did we change? We updated this one, right? So this one and okay. We changed first one or second one? First one. And first one is member ID, correct? So now let's say what happens if I update the member ID? Okay. So what is the update for Cascade? What we have done? Cascade. Okay. So member ID is 1. I'm changing member ID 1 to 100. So update DBO members, correct? Members, update DBO members, set member ID, okay, equal to 100, where member ID is 1. I'm setting member ID to 100 where member ID is 1. Okay. Now I'm running this query. Cannot update identity column member ID. Okay. Member ID is the identity column, right? So identity column will have its own way of doing it. You cannot edit it. Okay.
And we can change the
We can
identity
delete
to
it. Sorry. So what was that?
I mean, we can change the identity. I'm saying like
Yes,
can delete.
we can change the identity. Correct. Okay. We can change the identity, but let's log out delete first. You know, delete is there anyway, right? Okay. So I'm going to say delete from. Okay. So this is how you write delete from table DBO members. Delete from DBO members where, okay, member ID is 1. Okay. Now execute it. Okay. So it says it has conflict with transactions, column member ID. Okay. What is the conflict here? We have said for delete, what did we say? Set to null, right? 1 second. We have already set to null, right? When we set it to null, it should not have any problem. Constraint. Okay. Members, right? Refresh. Constraint. Okay. This is our transaction, FK. What happened? Key, sorry. Okay. This was the first one, right? Set null, update cascade, and for members transaction. Mhm. So it's saying that since it's linked, this should, in normal circumstances, yes, but we have already set the properties here, right? Int allow nulls, no. Okay, see, what did we say here? Allow nulls, no. And what are we doing here? Setting it to null, right? So when we say allow nulls, no, it cannot set it to null, isn't it? Correct? So you say yes.
Selected
In when the definition only we said allow nulls, no, right? So that's why it was not able to allow nulls. Now I have set it to allow null, yes. Okay. Polling table dropped and recreated. Yeah, it has to be recreated. Okay. So instead, what I'll do is in the foreign key, let's do cascade.
Instead of set to null, we can keep.
Yeah, we'll say cascade here. Okay. Now we go here and now. Okay. refresh keys. So all those things has to match. Okay. Now here it's matching as this. Okay, but this one is also, so if you see here, what is the error message? Okay, member ID, right? So even the other one should also match, right? Because when you delete the other one this one should also match. Okay, so I'm saying here on update, okay, or on delete, no action. This also should match, right? Cascade, right? Okay. So save all. So see, it says you have to recreate, dropped and recreate. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's recreate it. Let's drop this foreign key. Okay. Delete, delete. Okay. Now let's add the foreign key here. New foreign key. Okay. So this one we have deleted. Let's delete it. Delete it. Okay. This one is 2. Let's add it. So here I'm saying name is this. Table and column, we'll add it to member. Okay. So primary table is members. Okay. And column is member ID. Secondary is your transactions and it is your member ID. Okay. And in here we'll say delete, cascade, and update cascade. Okay. Close, save. Now we'll add one more, right? New foreign key. Okay. Table. This is your book ID, right? Books, book ID. Okay, this is book ID. And both will set it to cascade. Okay, close, save all. It's in table to drop and recreate it. Okay, fine, doesn't matter. Okay. So that's why, you know, what happens is these things you have to do it at the time of creation only. Okay, first time when you do it. Okay, so first time whatever we have done, it has taken the same thing here. Okay, so when you do it, when you are creating, I don't want to delete the table and recreate, insert all the data here for now. Why don't you try and tell me if it works or not? Okay, so when you create table and when you add foreign key, just make sure that you make all those changes. Now these changes are very difficult to update later because it will have a lot of linkages, right? And those linkages will fail and you will get error. So best time is, that's why we spend a lot of time on ER diagram and making sure that we get design correct. And then we come and we create this. Okay. So when you do it, you change it to cascade when you're doing it for the first time. Okay. Before you add the values, here we have the values in transactions. That's the reason why it is, kind of giving problems, that you cannot change anything like that. Okay. But I think right now, does it have foreign key here? Okay, it has one no foreign key. So it is de-linked. So I can delete here now. Okay, but it will not have any impact on the transactions because we have deleted the foreign key. Correct? So we won't be able to see the cascading effect. But this is how you will update value, you will delete a value, you will insert the values to a table. Okay, you will change the structure of the table. So these were the objectives for today. Changing the structure of the table, inserting, deleting, updating the values from a table. Any questions so far?